This is Northern Ireland, a place of haunting beauty and unspoken tension. Rolling green hills shadowed by decades of conflict. The past lingers in every stone and song, yet its people move forward. Not untouched, but at peace. It's truly one of the most beautiful places I have ever visited. It's the kind of place where the culture wraps around you. And the laughter echoing from the pub walls, the folk songs that once separated, now unite. The drunken camaraderie marching through the cobblestone streets, and the pure generosity of its people. For me, this journey wasn't just about discovering the beauty of the Irish culture. It was about reconnecting with a good friend, my friend Donal. He welcomed me into his home, into his world, and into a celebration of everything he stands for. In the heart of Belfast, he's not only honoring his roots, he's bringing tattoo artists together for something bigger.
Having your convention here, so what are you proud of that people are going to come and see Belfast when you invite all these guests to see your nation?
So for me, I left here 35 years ago, so 2 years ago when we had our first annual Belfast Tattoo Convention, it was like a coming home for me, and it was a very I'd say it was like an emotional thing, because I'm coming back to the place that I sort of ran away from, and I think I've come back here, and last year was such a great experience of the artists that we had from all over the world, from Asia, from Europe, from Ireland, of course, from both north and south, from the UK, from America. We talk about conventions. Ours is smaller. It's 140 artists. You talked about it. It's very welcoming. It's like a gathering. It is, and you're going to see it this weekend. There's that innate sense of togetherness. And we're a land. They call us the land of saints and scholars. And what we sort of mean by that is there's a lot of writing here. There's a lot of poetry. There's a lot of music. And for me growing up here, everything was about being with your family, and we would have gatherings of musicians, of storytellers, of poetry nights, and even when you go out into the cities, like you were in Belfast last night, there's that sort of I don't know, there's like a generosity of spirit.
Yeah,
I think that's a phrase you'll hear in Ireland. I think we're very giving, and I think a lot of that comes from we've left this island and we've gone all over the world, and we've been welcomed everywhere.
So how is, I don't know if you know much about it, but the history of tattooing here and how it's been influenced over time? For me growing up here, and obviously, there's people who come before me, but you had this sort of, music is a huge part of Irish life. Traditional music, moving into sort of the rock and roll, then moving into the punk era in the 70s, massive in the north of Ireland. And in that time, people marked their skin with their iconic symbols. Your punk rocker, and there were. I think many other countries, it was a dark sort of seedy industry, if you want to call it that, subculture. And I think in a way, everything else in this country, that the two communities have melted together, and you now have great artists from both sides of our rich heritage, meaning Protestants and Catholics, and many immigrants as well have come to live in this country who bring the rich heritage of tattoo culture.
That entire day, we spent exploring the captivating beauty of Donal's homeland. From the towering majesty of Dunluce Castle, clinging to the edge of the cliffs,
to the surreal landscape of the Giant's Causeway, where ancient volcanic forces sculpted stone into perfect hexagons. But now, we turn south, back to Belfast, to learn about a different story, a darker side of Northern Ireland's past.
Yeah, this is what they call the Peace Wall, and this was built in the 70s as really a divide between Catholics and Protestants, and why not build it physically? As you can see, it's probably 30 feet tall. First 15 feet are concrete.
When was it put up?
I believe in the mid to late 70s. And of course the physical separation between Protestants and Catholics, which showed that, political and physical divide in our country, now it's a symbol of, what happened then, but I don't know, maybe even a symbol of hope. Like, as you can see, it's sort of like it's completely covered in graffiti. So it is, a lot of people come along here and sign their names on here. They write messages.
Kind of like a unity.
Yeah, like make love, not war. I know that's maybe a trite one, but hey, no more famous words were said.
One Ireland.
There you go. Those are, obviously somebody who believes in a united Ireland. Which is some of what our sort of like our troubles were fought over. I guess it's a pure symbolism at this point, and. Glad that they've left it up. It's a representation of what happened, of what happens when you divide communities, and now it's here as a permanent memorial.
The Europa Hotel couldn't be a better symbolism of Irish resiliency. Battered, bombed, and scarred, yet still standing tall and proud, which is where the Belfast Tattoo Convention calls home.
We're in the Europa Hotel, which is it is the most famous hotel in Northern Ireland. Famous mostly because during the Troubles that were here from the 60s until the 90s, it was at one point, I think it might still be, the most bombed hotel in Europe. So I think it was 11 times. It was...
Okay, correction.
Yeah?
39.
39, okay. 39 times it was gutted, like. So it's a very famous hotel for that reason. It's iconic. But that's why we were like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, and like historically, obviously I'm a lot older than James is, but when music acts would come through here, or when big boxers would come through here, or even movie stars at times, they'd come and stay in this hotel. President.
Bill Clinton.
Was he here?
Bill Clinton, there's a Bill Clinton suite.
See? Okay, yeah. So, and we had historic moments all along the way. Not only that it had been bombed so many times, but Belfast itself is this city has been through the ringer. As a kid, way before James was born, I think I told you a story. I've seen this hotel being blown up. I was standing there with my mother. So I was.
Yeah?
Yeah. Not that that's a claim to fame, but Belfast was torn apart. But
I would say you would struggle to find someone in the city who wasn't affected or knew someone who was at least possibly killed or affected. I've family members and everything that I never met because of that. But that's going to age out over time. And if everybody can get over it, like we have been doing, it'll be gone hopefully in the next while. But we're getting there. We are getting there.
In Ireland, we have, it doesn't take much for a community to form and for a healthy sort of like friendship and respect to sort of evolve, and we just like having a good time.
Yeah. It's very much having a good time. For me as an artist who works here in the city, it is the main thing is having a good time. It's just about putting on a cracker show in the city. We didn't really have one for a long time there, and why we didn't have one, I don't know, but there's a lot of talented artists in Ireland and Northern Ireland as well, and we just didn't have the Marquee City didn't have a world-class show, and that's what we wanted to bring. But the closeness comes from it's a small enough city, and everybody knows each other, and there's very little. Everybody's friendly in the city, so you bump into these guys regularly, just going to the shop, and also there is a close-knit thing. Like I would hang out with all the artists here and go for a beer with them, and a lot of artists in Belfast would be like that, where they're just friendly with everyone. It's a small community, people look out for each other, and that's reflected in the show.
I'm gonna say it anyway. Irish people are happy people, and we like to talk and chat, and it's part of our DNA to sit and chat and tell stories and play music.
We're getting all that, we've got all the traditional music.
And we have a healthy artistic culture as well.
Yeah. And we're definitely bringing a bit of Ireland to the show, because there's no point bringing guys over from all around the world and having another same show. It's like, if we're bringing them here, we're going for Guinness. Let's get the trad music on. There's guys playing fiddles, that's what they want to see. We're not going to bring them over here and just it's the same as being at a show and another, you need to show them.
We did have a breakout club moment though last night.
Yeah, we had a bit of a Mexican swing on it, didn't we? A bit of South American.
I don't know what it was. That was
a good opportunity.
No, it was good. It was good fun. It was a Saturday night after party.
Tonight's party is Kelly Cellars, so it's the oldest bar in Belfast. It's actually older than the USA. There's a sign in it, you'll get a laugh at this. It says something along the lines of, there's been men pulling pints behind this bar from before the United States of America existed. It's a 400-something-year-old bar. It's got stone floors, a fire going, guys playing fiddles. It's what you will picture. It's like a postcard you would see of Ireland. So I think that's cool to bring the guys, and they're going to be, anybody who's not from here will really enjoy it, because it's Belfast in a bar. You know what I mean?
We've been talking here, and there's three things that have hit me. Telling stories, music, and drinking.
Oh, wow.
It's also a tattoo convention. Did you know that? Yeah.
That's it.
Who better to ask about the Belfast Convention than a local? But not just any local. The legendary Christopher Crooks, one of the greatest Japanese tattoo specialists on the planet. Oh, and yes, we did try his handcrafted whiskey. Maybe a few times.
Yeah, I mean, I think Belfast is, when you live in a city, you take it for granted. It's only whenever I have quite a lot of clients that would fly in, and then you do get those. They remind you just of how great your city is. I think Belfast it's such a unique city, certainly within the UK and Ireland, and even at a wider European context, because we've had such a long, divisive history. And music, the arts, have always been that one unifying thing. But tattooing weirdly wasn't, because, before the explosion now of tattoos for everyone, like many places in the world, tattooing was, I would say, more like a working class thing, and a real empowerment through symbology. So while the rest of the world might have been developing styles in tattooing, here we were still quite sectarian around the tattoo. And when I first started tattooing, a lot of tattoos I would have done were paramilitary tattoos. and that would have been like gang tattoos relating to certain areas. And I think there was a split within tattooing. There wasn't that many. You know, you're talking like 2 or 3 in the whole of the north. So those would have, and over time you had tattoos in an area that would have served that area. That's not the case now at all. And the art aspect has sort of flooded into tattooing, and that has neutralized that. You still might have a little, you know, piece, and you cover those tattoos up more now. And I think that the tattooing is a really great barometer for the progression of Belfast, within the progression of the tattooing that happens in Belfast. So like we've had conventions over the years, they've tried to do their stuff and they've been good, they've served their purpose. But I must say that Donal, Roy and James, in particular, have done a phenomenal job here, and it's really apparent when you're walking around this convention. It's so cozy. I know, and that's such an Irish thing to say, but it is, like, even from the terms of the music, there's a real sense of calm. I tattoo in conventions all around the world. Sometimes it's immensely heavy metal music, sometimes it's crazy techno, and it's almost weird because the music is the soundtrack to a show, and if with this, I don't know if it's picking it up, but like they're just playing traditional Irish music, and it's very indicative of here, and it's just there's a sense of calm here. A great collection of artists, and actually, I'm seeing for the first time in a while artists coming out of Belfast and Northern Ireland that are absolutely world class, really world class. I've seen a couple of guys' pieces this weekend, and I'm like, wow. I was assuming because it's colour realism, they might be from an Eastern European country or from the States, and it's a guy from here, a young guy from here. So like we're at a really, like, just like everything else in this city, it's really finding its foot, and there's less of the tribalism within the community and a real sense of a collective. And I think that Roy, Donal and James have propelled that through this convention, because it's an opportunity for everyone to come together in a place where we historically love to be quite far apart, even though it's only 2 or 3 streets away. So I think it's a real great asset to Belfast, and the city needed it.
Gentlemen, you did it. You put on a hell of a show. The entire weekend was a memory that I will never forget. From finally getting tattooed by my friend Mike Stockings, to exploring the beautiful countryside Northern Ireland has to offer, to chugging Guinness down to the G's in a local pub surrounded by new friends, to simply having a genuine good time, just like the Irish do. I'll definitely check that off as a first successful trip to Belfast, and I can promise you, it won't be the last.